Now I'm going to connect these two LEDs together, same way that I did it with the first two. Anode to anode, cathode to cathode. So on the model, it looks like this. Anode to anode, cathode to cathode. I'm just forming an L shape, and bend the lead over. Cut off the excess. And bend them tightly together. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and then we're going to add some wires. So now I have both anodes connected together and both cathodes connected together on the first pair, and both anodes connected together and both cathodes connected together on the second pair. We're going to refer to the schematic, and I'm going to show you what that means on the schematic. So both anodes are connected together on the first two LEDs, and both cathodes are connected together on the first two, and the same with the second two. So we have a parallel circuit here, and we have a parallel circuit here. Now we're going to put the two parallel circuits in series with each other. So we'll have a series parallel circuit. And what that means is we need to run a wire from both cathodes on the first pair to both anodes on the second pair. And on the model, that means running a wire from both cathodes on the first pair to both anodes on the second pair. We're going to do that right now with a wire. So I've chosen a wire. It's white-green. We're going to use white-green for this first bank, for this wire and for the next wire that I'm going to show you soon. So we have a white-green wire, and I'm going to just bend it around like an S shape and cut it. Now I'm going to strip the end. And I'm going to put a little hook into it, same way I did with the first end. Hook it around the leads and bend it. And I want this wire to be somewhere around the middle, because when we solder it, we want the heat to be away from the LEDs. So the base of the LED is here. We want to do our soldering in the middle, away from the actual LED. So this wire that I just attached is going from the two cathodes on top to the two anodes on the bottom, and it's this wire right here. The two cathodes on top to the two anodes on the bottom. Next, I'm going to use the same color of wire, and this will be going to the breadboard. The next wire we're adding is this wire that will go to the first transistor, and the transistor is going to be inserted into our breadboard. So I'm using a wire that goes from the two cathodes on the second set of LEDs. So on our model, here are the two cathodes, and that's where I'm going to attach a long wire that will go to the breadboard. So I'm going to put a hook in it, and I'm going to hook the two cathodes and bend the wire over. Now there's one more wire we need to add, and it's also going to go to the breadboard for now, so we could test the first 4 LEDs. And the next wire is going to go to both anodes, and I'll show you on the schematic. The wire is right here going to both anodes, and it's going to go to a plus 5 volt supply on the breadboard. So since it's a plus 5 volt supply, I'm going to use a red wire. In electronics, when we're working with DC voltages, red often is a positive voltage. So I put a hook into my red wire, and now I'm just going to hook it onto both anodes. And bend it over. So I've made my first circuit with bank 1, and on the schematic here you can see that these 4 are bank 1. So now that we have our wires connected to our first 4 LEDs, we need to test these 4 LEDs. So we're going to be using 3 AA batteries and a battery holder. Now this battery holder is meant for 4 AA batteries. So in order to use it with 3, we have to make some changes. We're not going to be using these snap-on connectors. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use a red wire and a black wire. The red wire will go through this hole right here, and when I put a AA battery in with the positive side against the wire will be held in place by the battery. Then we're going to insert the next battery, and the next one is going to hold a black wire in place. And in order to attach the black wire, I'm just going to put it through this hole, and then I'm going to bend it back, bend the stripped end back. And now when I insert the third battery, the negative side of the battery is going to hold the black wire in place. And this will give us approximately 5 volts. Whenever you're not using this setup, just remove the middle battery in case these the red and the black wires get accidentally short-circuited. You're not going to kill your batteries. So you're always removing the middle battery when this setup is not in use. So now that I have my plus 5 volt supply, I'm going to use a breadboard with a 1K resistor to test my first 4 LEDs. I'm going to take the red wire, strip it. Now the red wire goes to both anodes on the first 2 LEDs, and I'm going to insert this red wire in the same column as one end of the resistor. So we have plus 5 volts coming from this red wire going along the bus bar to the resistor, through the resistor, to the red wire going to both anodes. Now, the cathodes down at the bottom are going to be connected to the black wire coming from the power source. I'm going to put the black wire into the negative bus bar, and I'm going to put this wire coming from the cathodes also into the negative bus bar. And if it works, the LED should be on. So these 4 LEDs are connected properly.